to the audiobook of New Social Studies, Grade 10. Unit 8, Lesson 9, page number 341. Revenue and Tax Collection. हाम्रो पौरख हाम्रो कर, राष्ट्र निर्माणको दिगो भर. Introduction. The government holds the major responsibility for the overall development in the country. For this purpose, it needs a good income to meet the expenses. The government obtains income from various sources. The income obtained by the government is termed as public income or revenue. There are two sources of revenue, tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Tax is a compulsory contribution to the revenue by the citizens according to the law and levied by the government on workers' income and business profit or added to the cost of some goods, services, and transactions. Tax is a compulsory payment. The taxpayer does not expect any benefit from the tax payment. It is the right of the government to raise tax and duty of the citizen to pay tax. Thus, tax is compulsory payment without any expectation of benefit. Tax revenue. Tax revenue is the income that is gained by government through taxation. This is the major source of revenue. Customs, excise, taxes collected from consumption of goods and services, land tax, registration fee, taxes on property, profit and income, etc. are the tax revenue. Types of tax. There are two types of tax. They are direct tax and indirect tax. A. Direct tax. It is a tax paid directly by an individual or organization to the government. Income tax, personal property tax, real tax, etc. are the example of direct tax. The burden of tax is on an individual. It is not transferred to anyone else. This type of tax can be revised as per necessity. This tax is based on equality and progressive. Direct tax helps to control inflation. In Nepal, it is estimated that about 30% of the public revenue is contributed by direct tax. B. Indirect tax. It is a tax levied on goods and services rather than on income or profit. In the indirect tax, the burden of tax is on one party, whereas its impact is on another party. For example, if you stay at a hotel, you pay its bill, including the tax, which afterward the hotel owner deposits in state revenue. Thus, the burden of tax is on hotel owner and the impact on customer. Excise duties, custom duties, VAT, etc. are the examples of indirect tax. The indirect tax is comfortable as well as flexible. This type of tax is based on equity because the tax on the essential goods and services is low and on luxurious goods and services is high. Indirect tax is wider based and cannot be avoided. Non-tax revenue. Non-tax revenue is the income earned by the government from sources other than taxes. Such sources include gifts and donation, fees, fines and penalties, property with no heirs, public property, etc. Prevailing taxes in Nepal. A. Value added tax, VAT. Mulya Abhivriddhi Kar. It is an indirect tax which is imposed on goods and services at each stage of production, starting from raw material to final product. Tax is imposed on goods and services, but the consumers have to carry the burden of tax. VAT was first introduced in France. In Nepal, it started since 2054 Bikram Sambat. In this tax system, there is tax exemption on specified goods and services. Similarly, the business person who has a transaction more than 20 lakhs in a year has to get registered compulsorily on VAT. For this, the business firm has to be registered in Inland Revenue Department of Nepal and a certificate can be received. Thus, we should develop a habit of taking VAT bill compulsorily in every purchase of goods and services. The present rate of VAT in Nepal is 13%. B. Custom duty. Anta Sulka. Custom duty is a tariff or tax imposed on goods when transported across international borders. It is also an important source of revenue. Therefore, every country establishes its administrative unit at the border area. Custom duty is collected from the major entry point by the custom office. Smaller custom points are also established in the other entry point. The government of Nepal has been collecting custom duty from custom offices of Kakarbhitta, Biratnagar, Nepalganj, Birganj, Bhairava, Dhangari, etc., and from smaller custom offices on other entry points. C. Excise duty. Bhansar Mahsul. An excise duty is a tax on the goods and services provided in the country and imported from outside. It is another important source of state revenue. This type of tax is called inland tax as it is imposed in the domestic business on specified goods and services. In Nepal, inland tax on goods such as alcohol, cigarette, molasses, MOLASSES, and noodles is charged according to quantity, and that on plastic, vehicle, printing materials, television, etc. is charged according to percentage of price. Such taxable goods are also classified into three groups as liquor items, tobacco items, and export items. Income tax. This is the tax levied by the government on income of an individual or corporation. Income tax is considered as the ancient tax system. The practice of income tax was originated in Britain in 12th century. In the ancient period, income tax used to be imposed on animal husbandry, agriculture, fish business, etc., but at present it is imposed on business, employment, investment, profit, etc. Income tax has been imposed in every sector in Nepal. However, non-profiting organizations, cultural and religious organizations, non-commercial sports institutions, political parties registered in election commission are exempted from income tax. The local level can charge various types of taxes such as local taxes, which is wealth tax, house rent tax, land and building registration fee, motor vehicle tax, service charge, fee, tourism fee, advertisement tax, business tax, land tax or land revenue, penalty, entertainment tax, land revenue collection, etc. But they cannot charge tax to diplomatic missions, projects running on foreign aid, etc. Activities, page number 343. 1. Make an inquiry about the taxes which can be collected by the local levels. Present your findings in the class. 2. For what program the tax paid by your family is being used. Discuss with various politicians and present in the class. Exercise. Very short answer questions. 1. What do you mean by revenue? 2. What is tax? 3. What is meant by income tax? Short answer questions. 1. Differentiate between the tax income and non-tax income. 2. Discuss the tax system prevailing in Nepal. 3. Mention the features and types of tax revenue. 4. Present the advantages and disadvantages of direct tax in a table. 5. Make a table and present the advantages and disadvantages of indirect tax. 6. Present the features of income tax. 7. Imagine you were chairman of a rural municipality or mayor of municipality. Show the list of tax or fee in table that you deserve to collect levy or you don't. Long answer questions. 1. Excise duty is the main source of the government revenue. Justify the statement. 2. What do you mean by custom duty? Mention its importance in the context of Nepal. Community work. What kinds of taxes are imposed at local bodies? Visit the office of village or municipal council in order to collect information. Then prepare a description and stick on notice board in your school. This is the end of Unit 8, Lesson 9 at page number 343. This podcast is dedicated to visually impaired students. So if you know anybody who needs this book to listen and learn, please share the link and also please subscribe the channel. Thank you and all the best.